Hello and welcome to Throwback Thursday. I hope you're well today. Today I want to talk a little bit about changing your mind about things. Recently I was sitting in the office of my PhD supervisor, who does say some wise things quite frequently, so sometimes I need to write them down. But anyway, I'd been working on a paper for some time, and this paper was all about the round pen and lunging and high-speed liberty work. In fact, it will be published soon. It's called Cutting to the Chase: How Lunging, High-Speed Liberty Work and the Round Pen May Compromise Horse Welfare. And I'll tell you when it's published. But anyway, I'd been working on this paper for some time, and it's something that I started writing ages ago, and just because I had quite a lot of content about the round pen. It was about the round pen in particular. And the reason I wanted to write a paper about the round pen in particular was because it was one of the things that led me to start the PhD. So what actually happened was I did steal. I stole my daughter's library access. She was at the University of New South Wales, and somebody had told me about this person two people actually, called Paul McGreevy was the first one, and the other one was Andrew McLean. And it was quite hard, apart from the books that they'd written, it was quite hard to get information on them. And I wanted to read the peer-reviewed articles that they'd written. So I stole my daughter's library card access, and I got everything I could, and I read everything I could, and I said, right, that's the person I want to do a PhD with. And one of the reasons why I wanted to was because something that he wrote annoyed me and about the round pen. And what it was basically, it was written in response to an experiment that had been done, which wasn't terribly well done. They chased the horse a lot, 30 minutes. They chased the horse in the round pen for 30 minutes. Imagine doing that. My goodness. It was a long time ago. And so it had been suggested in this article that the round pen shouldn't be used. And I thought, oh, that's nonsense, because round pens can be quite good if you use them properly. It can be a torture chamber or it can be a classroom. It depends what you do with it. And we all know that, it's the same as everything, right? And that really gave me the inspiration to go and do this PhD. That was one of the things that really got me out of my couch and off my couch and on the road to getting there. So, thank you for that for a start. Anyway, so I'd written this article and I did have all the information, and it was, it wasn't very good. So I stuck it on the back burner, and Paul said to me not long ago, he said, so how about that article, where is it? And I'm like, I'm still sort of reviewing it and rewriting it. And he said, oh, come on, what is the problem with this article? And I said, it's really bad. And he said, so you can write better now. I said, I wrote it before I started, and it's really bad, and it doesn't have enough references, and it's this, that, and the other. It's really bad. And he said, so basically you now know that you can do better. And I said, yes. And he said, so you're cross with yourself for learning. I thought, oh gosh, that's a really interesting way of putting it. But the answer to that was yes. So I got off my butt, finished the paper, submitted it, and it has been accepted for publication. Hopefully I'll be able to show it to you soon. But it was really interesting because, yes, I was sort of upset with myself for learning, and I was reluctant to go back and review it and change it and so forth. And we get like that, don't we, about lots of things. It was one of the things that surprised me the most with the first noseband article, because it seemed to me that if you're a user of a noseband, a tight noseband, and an article comes out that says tight nosebands cause stress in horses, surely you could just loosen up your noseband and say, oh, yes, well, clearly tight nosebands are bad. Why don't we just ride, with looser nosebands? How about that? Not cause the horse so much stress. But that wasn't the reaction of a lot of people. And I was expecting that to be the reaction. I was expecting people, that wore very tight nosebands to say, oh, I've never done that. I would never do that to my horse. But instead they fought back and they said, oh, my horse is habituated to it. My horse doesn't mind. My horse loves me anyway. And lots of other things were equally silly. But very few people said, oh, I would never do that. I've never done it before. And I think we need to get a bit braver about saying that we're changing our minds about things. I think we need to stand up and say, okay, well, it doesn't really matter whether you did it before or not. You know, you could say, hey, I've learned something today and I'm going to do that differently now. And, you know, it is easy to do. And that is what education is. You know, it is changing what you do when you learn something new. And it's great. It's great to be able to do that. And I, for one, have learned a ton of things over the past few years. I mean, the past sort of 6 years since I went back to university, because when I decided I wanted to do a PhD in training and management, I really didn't have an undergraduate degree. So I had a choice. I could go back and finish an undergraduate degree I'd started, you know, last century, or I could start again. So I decided, well, I might start again and do something more relevant. So I went back and did equine science. And, you know, that at age sort of pushing 50 then, when I went back, I was 48 or something, 48, 47, old, you know, and to have chemistry on your first semester was pretty scary. But it is great. You know, the whole learning experience is fantastic. And I've changed the way I do a lot of things with horses. It's opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I've been very, very grateful for that experience. And I continue to be very grateful for that experience and the experience that I'm getting now. But I think the thing is that it's really important to be able to say, wow, you know, I used to do something this way, and it doesn't matter whether it's how you used to trailer load your horse or the tack you used to use or anything. It doesn't matter what it is. But now I've learned X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to change the way I do that. Now I'm going to do it this new way. And I think that's better for me, and I think that's better for my horse. And it's a very liberating thing to be able to do. You know, realize you're not tied to any method. You know, for me, I've got online training system, and in the blurb up the top of this, you can see all the modules in my online training system. And I think there's 18 modules in there, and they change. You know, if you've got a better way of doing something, if you've got a way of teaching something that you think is less stressful, easier for the horse, tell me, because I'm going to go out and try that. And if I think it's better for the horse and easier for the horse, I'm going to adopt it. And I'll change the lessons that are in my online training module. So that's the thing, you know, it's growing all the time, but it's changing all the time because we're learning all the time. And I think it's really important to be able to do that. So I hope you'll come with me on this journey, which is really only just started for me because I've only just finished my first year of my PhD, and I've got a lot to learn and I'm loving it. So come on, join up the training, and I will see you in there. Bye.